Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, Misfit Balloons, and today we are doing Game Week 15 of the Barclays Premier League. And I did miss out Game Week 14 because I didn't realise the games were coming so quick. I didn't realise there were going to be games on midweek. But we are going to start off on the 4th of December, West Ham home against Chelsea. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. Now last game, West Ham United did draw 1-1. It was quite a tight game against Brighton. Brighton, have had some good results this season. It was a hard game. But West Ham, I still don't think they'll be able to finish top 6. I think they're slowly forming down. But I still think they'll do well. They're still finishing a good, solid top 10. I said this every time. But still, I'm not changing my mind. But against Chelsea, Chelsea did only just about win 2-1 against Watford, which is a bit concerning, only just about winning against Watford. Watford aren't the greatest of teams, but Watford did win 4-1 against Man United, but we'll come to that on a later date. Chelsea, they're top of the league. West Ham, they're 4th, but I think West Ham are going down this method where they're slowly forming back down, now and again drawing. They're going to finish fine, but this game, don't think is winnable. Moving on to my next game, Newcastle United are home against Burnley. I'm saying 1-0 Newcastle. Yep, I'm actually saying Newcastle to get a win under Eddie Howe and just overall this season. Because last game, they only drew 1-1 against Norwich. I mean, to be fair, ever since the Kieran Clark red card, I don't know why he did that. But Newcastle put loads of effort into the defence. They actually played quite well against Norwich. But then, because they only had 10 men, they had a disadvantage. And it was like they were playing with 11 men because I was trying that little bit harder, well, a lot harder for that missing gap. But Norwich had more stamina, they had an extra player, so Newcastle let off and only got a draw, and it was looking like Norwich were going to get a second goal, but yeah. Newcastle, I think they could, Burnley, I don't think it'll be high scoring because Burnley's defence is very good. They got another clean sheet away against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was a very good game. Even though they didn't have many chances, they're still a good team when it comes to defence and experience of the Premier League. They've been in sticky situations like this before and they can handle it. Unlike Newcastle, which can't. But I think they're going to have to win sometime, and I think it's going to be this time. Moving on, Wolverhampton Wanderers home against Liverpool. I'm going to say 3-1 to Liverpool. Now, Wolves did obviously draw 0-0, as I just said. They've been in pretty decent form. Did also get a win against West Ham United, which wasn't bad a couple of weeks ago. Don't know when. But that was a good game, West Ham were on good form, and ever since then they've been a bit, they're going to fall down. But Wolves, they're not a bad team. I still don't think they'll finish top 10, but I think they'll just sit on the outskirts. But Liverpool are just too good, Salah always runs in behind the fullbacks. He's fast, he's rapid, got good composure. Best player in the Premier League, maybe? Don't know. But Liverpool, they'll just have all the stamina. Wolves will give it a good shot to a point where Liverpool will have more stamina than Wolves, and they'll go on and see the game through. Moving on, Southampton home against Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm going to say 2-1 to Brighton. Now, Brighton, obviously, as I already said, did draw 1-1 against West Ham. They haven't got a win for quite a while, but they are drawing against teams. But I think this time they'll eventually be able to get a win. It could easily be a draw, because Southampton did also have a very good game against Leicester, and Leicester are a good team. Southampton are starting to show up, but they're not getting the wins. They're only getting the draws. And I think Brighton, that's what's happened to them now. They're only getting the draws. But I think they're finally going to find out a win, because I think Brighton are better than Southampton. Because Brighton, at the start of the season was looking really good, and now they've kind of slacked off. I think they'll get back at it with a win. Moving on, Watford home against Manchester City. 5-2 to Manchester City, I'm going to predict. Now, Man City did get a 2-1 win against Aston Villa, which wasn't bad, at all. I still think they're going to win it. But Watford, they only just about lost 2-1 to Chelsea. It was a very close game. Watford have been getting results out, like a 4-1 win against Manchester United 3 weeks ago or something like that. And they've just been pretty decent, and I think it's going to be high scoring. I think they're going to concede a lot because Man City, they're just too good, you know. They can just score loads and loads of goals, and Watford can as well. I think it's going to be a high scoring, very, very exciting game between the two sides, but Man City got more experience in the Premier League. They'll just see through the game. Moving on to a whole new day, Leeds United home against Brentford FC. I'm going to say 2-0 to Leeds United. Leeds United, they managed to get their third win of the whole season against Crystal Palace 1-0, which is very good from a penalty. They did play well. I watched a bit of the game, not too much. But Leeds, I think they're going to start getting the form up. But Brentford, I think they're going to do the opposite. They're going to start to fall down. Now, I did predict them in 16th, and I think this is where they're falling. They've got a good striker in Ivan Toney. You know, they can score goals. They can survive. I still have belief. But Leeds, they're going to start to push. Starting to get their players recovered. You know, they've made some good signings. And I think it's going to be a comfortable result, especially after Brentford did lose 2-0 to Spurs. Moving on to the next game, Manchester United home against Crystal Palace. I'm saying 2-2. Now, I did actually watch quite a bit of the Man United game versus Arsenal, and I don't know what went on with De Gea. Fred stubbed his toe, like stamped on it, and the goal went in. And I think that still counts as a goal if your own player hurts your own player. I still think that counts as a goal. You know, that was unlucky for them because De Gea would have that easy. De Gea will obviously have that easy, but they still managed to go on and win. That was very good. It's a good sign to see them winning. That means they might be back, but I think Crystal Palace, being a bit shaky form, I think they're going to come back and at least get a point. They've lost to Aston Villa and Leeds, and I think Man United aren't fully recovered from their badness of what happened in the past. But Crystal Palace be able to pinch a point for Man United. Be a very good game. I still think Man United are better than Crystal Palace, but they're just recovering from a bad set of games. Moving on, Spurs home against Norwich City, 1-0 to Spurs. Spurs obviously did get that good win, which they really did need against Brentford, 2-0. And I think they'll be able to repeat another win against Norwich. But I think it'll be a very close game. But because of Spurs' amazing experience in the Premier League, I don't think Norwich will be able to do it. Norwich have got a new manager. Past 3 or 4 games, they haven't lost. Got a good 1-1 draw against Newcastle, just controlling the possession. Not creating much till the last 20 minutes, which they managed to get an equaliser. But Spurs, they got an amazing team. You know, Harry Kane, Heung-min Son. You know, everywhere on the pitch, you've got Hugo Lloris. They've got a really solid squad, and I think Norwich, they just don't see it. I just don't see him winning this game, especially the lack of experience. Moving on, Aston Villa home against Leicester City, 1-0 to Aston Villa. Now, Leicester, I still think they'll be able to finish 6th, just about. I think they'll just about be able to do it, but I think that they're going to go on this bad spell. They drew 2 against Southampton, and I think Aston Villa, you know, after that 5 losses in a row, they came back at it, managed to win against Crystal Palace, and I think they're going to really push. Really, really push. They've got an amazing squad. Ever since Jack Grealish went, I think it's an improvement. They played well against Crystal Palace. They had a good shout against Man City, and I think they'll be able to keep a clean sheet, and they'll be able to keep their heads up, be able to fight their way through of a win against Leicester. Moving on, Everton home against Arsenal, 2-1 to Arsenal. Now, Arsenal, obviously, we did say about them losing against Man United. It was a very close game. They definitely played well. But I originally would have predicted Arsenal to win that game. But, you know, they didn't. So, I would have got it wrong. Everton, on the other hand, did not play well at all. Fans were starting to leave after the first 20 minutes. It was crazy. But they did look a bit better when Gray got that goal. He's a very good player for Everton. Got that goal, looking really good, but Liverpool stood there and absolutely whopped them after that. They got 2 more goals after that goal from Everton, and it was just amazing from Liverpool. They're too good for Everton. I think Arsenal will get back up with a win. Only just about. I think Everton really try, you know. I think Rafa Benitez is going to have to change something if they want to keep this team in top 10 this season. Because it's starting to look like they're not. That will be the end of my video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe. And always remember to turn on notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.